We're right now going to work on our empty hand versus screamer, one of our defenses against an opponent who has got a weapon in his hand. All right, so in this case, Sensei Moore here has a screaming stick, okay? We want to go ahead and not get damaged by that to the best of our ability. Now, obviously, if he's ready to go, ready to rock and roll and start hitting people with this, I can just ditch out right away, right? But if that's not an option, if I need to engage, here's how we want to kind of do it. Once he's in his fighting stance right here, ready to go, he's going to try to hit me on the side of my body with that stick. All right, some sort of headshot or something like that. Basically, we're imagining a strike that's kind of coming in this vicinity here, in that zone, okay? Now, what we're going to do in this situation is we want to get to the safest place we can be when an opponent has a weapon. Okay, ideally the safest place is another zip code. But if we don't have that, okay, we have to be here. We want to get between the weapon and the opponent, okay? So what we want to do in this situation is when that stick starts to come our way, we're going to go forward. We're going to cover up to try to defend the best of our ability, okay? And we're going to go ahead and try to get inside. Now remember, anywhere in here, we're relatively safe from this weapon, whether it be a knife, whether it be a gun, something like that. We want to be in this zone, okay? Because now it's kind of out of the equation, all right? So what we want to do in our first move is get in close, all right, right here, boom! And we want to go ahead and strike, okay? Now we want to use our other hand here, and we're going to strike in here, or we can go to the eyes, we can go to the throat, we can do a lot of different things. We can, of course, hit the vital areas too. But for right now, we're going to work on our cover counter one kind of maneuver, where we're here, we're to cover and strike just in the solar plexus kind of area for now, okay? When we do that, we're going to go ahead and go in, boom! We're going to immediately wrap over this arm here, and if we need to, we're going to lunge in again, and we're going to go ahead and do a rising elbow here. Bam! Like that. Notice I'm trapping his arm at this point, okay? I'm not just going to let it go loosely. I'm going to hold it. I want to dominate this arm, and I want to strike right here. Okay, now right here, when our hand is up in this position, we're going to go ahead and do a hammer fist on its way down. And as we do that, we're going to pivot our body, okay? And what we want to do is hold on to this arm, and we want to kind of do a hyperextension, like an armbar kind of thing here on his arm. By turning our body and keeping this tucked here, okay, I'm just going to keep this up so you can see it. Turn his body and try to get that pressure on his elbow. Okay, now obviously I'm going to keep this down and tight to the best of my ability because I don't want it to be loose, right? So after I do my hammer fist, I'm going to turn, boom, and try to get that step happening. Once I hit with that hammer fist, my arm's going to be over here on the side of my body. I'm going to come back in with either a C-clamp to the neck maybe, or a ridge hand to the neck, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and go for a power stance takedown against this leg right here. Okay, now as black belts, you guys should know what that is. So from here, when I strike, boom, I'm going to go ahead and chop at that leg, follow him up, and I'm going to go ahead and do a disarm here. Now, all I'm doing to do this disarm is not some crazy fancy thing. I'm basically wrapping my arm around his wrist here, and I'm going to slide it up and slide that weapon out of his hand. Okay? So what I'm doing basically, and you'll see from the other side, is I'm going to wrap it tight, and I'm going to basically keep my knee on rib, okay? And I'm just going to stand up, okay? Now that weapon may get stuck under my arm. Great, I have it. Or it may just come flying out. That's fine. Either way, it's no longer a concern of ours. We're going to strike if we want to, finish if we want to, and get to a position ready to go, okay? Let's look at that from the other side and go through those steps. All right, so if you guys know warrior takedown, it's pretty much the same exact motion except for the disarm. So let's look at it again. He comes in. Boom! We're going to go ahead and boom! We're going to strike. Bang! We're going to come in, C-clamp or ridge hand, whichever one. This time I'll do a C-clamp. And power stance his leg. Bang! Now watch the disarm here. I'm just going to wrap it tight. And I'm going to stand up, and it's just going to roll out of his hand. Like that. That's what we're looking to do. Hands are up, and finish any way we want. Bang! To our fighting stance. Okay? One last time. Let's go over it slow so you can kind of see it. Remember, for the beginning of this month, we're going to work on the form of the maneuver. We'll get to speed later on. Here we go. He comes in. We go in. Boom. Boom. Strike, pivot. This time I'll do a ridge hand. Power stance. Hold tight. Up we go. And finish somehow. Bang. Just like that. Okay? If he were invisible, just like warrior takedown, we're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knee on rib would be 6, and then 7 is strip the weapon, and 8 would be finish. Boom. Okay? So we're combining some steps because you guys have done a lot of other material. Hopefully we're right now going to work on a gun disarm, where the person has a gun on us from the front here, more a higher level. Alright, so Sensei Moore here is going to have a gun in his hand. He always carries this yellow gun with him everywhere he goes, just because.
Training purposes.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to imagine in this case that we're just being stopped by someone who necessarily has got something that they want that we've got, like wallets, whatever, okay? He's going to come up here, gun's going to present itself, okay. Alright, right here, we got a problem, alright? Now remember, first things first, we don't want you to have to ever do this, okay? This is just if your life is in danger, should you try to deal with the situation before, okay? But let's assume for a second that he's going to ask for something. He says, hey, give me your wallet, give me your phone, whatever, okay? We're just going to give it to him, okay? It's fine. You have it. There you go. Have a nice day. All right, then you call, get the insurance money to pay you back on that. All right, but let's assume you give him everything you want, and you still get this sense that, you know, he doesn't want a witness here, all right? Now you can respond, all right? So in this situation, what we want to do is we want to get control of this weapon, get it away from him, all right, and get to a point of safety. Those are our main objectives. So, right here, what we want to do is we do not want to just all of a sudden reach up and try to grab a hold of something. We want to engage with this weapon at a time that's, he's expecting us to move. Okay, so if you make some sort of sudden move like that, he makes, whoa, all right, just pull that trigger, okay? But if we're like, if he's asking for something or hands up, or we're like, hey, 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 relax, relax, okay, by the time I'm moving my hands, that's where we want to make that attempt to get the disarm going. We don't want to do it just from a cold position like, ha-ha! Okay, that's not what we want to do, okay? So, in this case, we're going to imagine we just handed him something like that. Our hands are in motion, okay? And right here, we are in a good spot to try to go for that particular weapon, all right? Now, there's several ways we can move our feet here, and different people have different preferences. All right, we're going to show you a couple of them, all right? But the hand motion is pretty much all the same. The hand motion is all the same. All right, so what I like to do personally is I like to go ahead and get from this point right here, I want to get under the gun, get it up and away from me like this, and at the same time, I'm going to step kind of closer to it. I want to go like that, and I want to move in the direction of the gun, okay? I do this here because I want to make sure I'm getting in close. If he tries to retract, I've got good control over the weapon still. I'm not kind of in a point where I'm off balance, okay? Once I get control of this weapon like this, I'm going to throw a strike in here. Get him thinking about something else other than this weapon. So right here, I've got my back leg. So what I'm going to do is throw a knee here to the groin, maybe a rising kick if he's further away, whatever it happens to be, okay? But when I'm in closer, I'm going to do something like that. Bang! Once I've hit a target like that, I'm going to go ahead and lever this gun out of his hand. All right, I'm going to lever it towards him this way. Now what this does is actually going to trap his finger in that trigger guard right here, okay? Nice and painful, and it gives me an interesting control point over this person. He's going to take his finger out of here for training purpose safety, okay? So after I've gotten this control over the gun like this, I throw that knee in here, bam! All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lever this gun towards him. All right, now I'm going to use my body in here too. Boom, I can step back to get some extra leverage here. Now remember, this is going to be digging into the back of his finger, and I can take this all the way to the ground potentially where he's on the floor, all right? And then I can just kind of take the gun out of his hand, and now I'm in a position where I can kind of maintain control, all right? But in this case, we're just going to do the takeaway because our partner shouldn't have any sort of finger in that trigger guard when we do this for safety reasons. If you're using a Nerf gun or a water pistol or something like that, that can really hurt, so be sure you're safe with that, okay? So let's look at that particular motion again. As our hands are in motion, I'm going to go ahead and trap underneath the gun like this and the back of the gun like this. I want to get 2 on 1 here, all right? And I want to make sure I've got it pointed away from me, okay? So I want to get, boom, my hands underneath it and away like that, okay? That's where we want to go. Now my feet are going to move in this direction, boom, like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw that strike in here, bam! Pivot my feet and get that lever here, okay? And then if the gun happens to go off, it's okay, it's nowhere near me, all right? And I can get it from his hands right here, and I can get to a position where I'm on control of him, okay? Now, from right here, I can be further away, obviously. I can just take off, all right, which is probably ideal. No need to kind of stand here and be the hero guy, okay? But I can go ahead and just hold him here if I need to, okay? Or just ditch out, all right? Let's look at a couple other footwork options, okay? Right here, if my feet are in a neutral position, okay, moving forward at an angle, I have to kind of shift my weight a little bit to get my motion going that direction, all right? But if I'm going to move sideways, I already have a push-off point like that. All right, so it makes our motion a little bit faster. So what we can do is have our hands here like this, and I can kind of go bam, and I can just lunge directly sideways here. All right, now I can turn and throw maybe a snap kick because I'm a little further away from the opponent in this case, all right, to get that snap kick happening. And then I can do the same basic motion. Get that lever on his hand here, take him to the ground if I want to, or get it off of his finger here, all right, and then address, boom, like that, all right, and be ready to go, okay? That's our footwork option going sideways, okay? Another option that some people like, this is like a Sensei Andrino one right here, when that gun is here like this, he kind of prefers to go that direction, like he can kind of, boom, like move out of the way of the weapon, okay? So he's holding it here and moving sideways, okay? This one is great because you're getting your head out of the way and you're pushing and you're moving your body opposite the direction of the gun, so that distance between you and the gun is widened a bit, okay? It's a different option. It has its pluses and it has its minuses too. But here we go. This is another way to go, moving our feet this way. Now from here I can do the same kind of thing. I can maybe use our other leg now to do the snap kick, and then I can do the same kind of lever. I can lever it this way, boom, take it out of his hand and address. Okay, and just get to that position like that. All right, come up on target. Okay, so let's get a little bit closer on that view and take a look at the hands. Let's slide over here. So let's say this is the gun right here. My hands are here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. One hand is going to come up underneath the gun like this. Okay, I want to get it up and away so no one behind me gets hit by the bullet or anything like that. Okay, like this I grab. Okay, and this hand is coming around the back and holding it tight like that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. Now let's have him put his finger in there for right now so you can kind of see the more reality of the situation here. So when I move my hands up to get this grab going, okay, from here I'm going to throw that kick, which you guys can't see, it's out of camera, but from here I'm going to lever that gun. And you see how it's kind of trapped on his finger? Okay, that's where I can apply pressure. Take him all the way to the ground with that and just kind of hold him. All right, but at some point I can just kind of also release that pressure, slide it off of his hand, and get to a point where I'm controlling the weapon like that. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. Now remember, this is more a sense of getting your body to move in a certain way, not necessarily, hey, make sure you get a chance to try this out there in the real world, because we'd rather you not do it, okay? So again, hands are like this. When they're in motion, whoa! Okay, up and away from you, okay, whichever way you're going. If you're going this way, it's up and away. If you're going this way, it's up and away. If you're going this way, it's up and away, okay? Either way, you're going to get to that position with your hands, getting your head out of the range of the shot, okay? So practice that. Let's look at the whole thing one more time now. We got that gun addressing our head here like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and boom, get it away. Some sort of strike here, depending on where I'm at. That'll determine the appropriate strike to use. Lever down. Take to the floor if I need to, okay? Or take it off his finger and get it the heck out of here. Or just start addressing it like that, moving away. All right? And making sure I can hold him on target. All right, so that's what we're looking to do, guys. Go through those steps, practice that form. All right, and we'll get faster and faster as we go, okay?